What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, Kevin? What's going on, Vegan Nicole? What's going on, Jordan 2 ASQ? Welcome to Making the Case. We're doing our IG series where we're continuing to go live and bring that fire. I think we're on day 7 because we don't include Fridays, Saturdays, or Sundays. We'll be coming back on the Mondays and Tuesdays. But we're here, y'all, and today I'm excited. We're going to have a guest on, Keana. Of course, let me go ahead and let you guys know my name is Anthony, founder of Becoming JD. Our mission, our goal, of course, is to help more people get into law school. And we don't give a damn about no affirmative action because we still going to get into law school. You feel me? You feel me? So nevertheless, again, thank you guys so much for joining us as our room fills up. Again, we want to make sure and let this be a space. Let us know where it is that you're viewing our session from. His daughter, Carter, let me know where you're viewing our session from. Kev Johnson holding it down. Kev Johnson's going to be going to Nebraska, you guys. Go ahead, as the room continues to fill up, let us know where you're viewing our session from. Let us also know, of course, what questions that you may have. Of course, if you like the shirt I got on right here, just got through making it not too long ago. But nevertheless, I want to make sure that irregardless of where you are when you're journeying, that you're able to come away from our lives fed. So if, in fact, the questions that I may have or the topic that we may talk about tonight may not be something specifically that relates to something that's helpful to you, I encourage you guys to also make sure that you fill my chat box up with questions. I want you to make sure that if, in fact, you stop in and say hello, you're able to leave with something, all right? And so, again, what's going on, Kalei? What's going on, Yas Ishmir? I messed that name up. My bad, sis. What's going on, you guys, as we let the room continue to fill up? Atlanta holding it down. What's going on, sis? Finishing up my 1L year. Praise God. Praise God. I'm so happy for you. Of course, I'm sending all prayers and blessings out to all my people out there who are in day 2 of the bar exam, sending prayers and positive vibes your way. To you guys that's on the wait list right now, still waiting to hear back from schools, if in fact that is you, make sure and shoot me a DM because I want to make sure and give you guys some tips. What's going on, Mickey, holding it down in Florida? Mickey, we got to get you on this IG Live, sis, so you can go ahead and drop some bombs. Mickey, of course, is going to be starting at Barry Law School, her 1L year. Give her some love, you guys. And so anyway, again, thank you guys so much for joining us for our live today. What's going on, Aisha? What's going on, DeVale Grass? What's going on? What's going on, you guys? Okay. All right, so again, we want to fill this chat box up with questions because I know, of course, that if, in fact, you're in the process of applying to law school, waiting to hear back from law school, or maybe even possibly getting ready to start law school, you may have some questions. So feel free to fill up the chat box so I can go ahead and address those questions. But of course, today, what we're going to be talking about, y'all, tonight, this evening, or whenever you may view this live, is we're going to be talking about literally how to balance life and law school, right? Because a lot of people, unfortunately, at this particular juncture, believe that because, life is taking up so much of my time, that I may have to wait to go to law school. And I just want to make sure that you guys understand that you can go to law school regardless of your circumstances. I just had a live earlier, had a session earlier today with a young lady who's Precious, who's probably on this Dodgy Live right now. And what I tell you guys, and we talked about part-time programs, we talked about virtual programs, we talked about flex programs. You guys, if in fact you want to go to law school, there are a number of law schools. One of the things that I told Precious, and I tell every last one of you guys, is at the end of the day, my vision, my view is this. If you do not get into law school, it's not going to be because of your LSAT score. You got that, Isha? If you do not get into law school, it's because we failed to find law schools that will accept you. And so I know one of the things I really take pride on doing is finding law schools that will accept you. You see what I'm saying, Aja Gibson? So, of course, on tonight's IG Live, we're going to be talking to 2L. Her name's Keana from Southern Law University Center, holding it down in the boot. And we're going to get her on to share her story so you guys can feel and be inspired. I thought I was doing something. I had a kid in law school, had 2 kids at that time in law school, but nah, sis is taking it to a whole nother level. Sis got her a tribe, and she's still killing it in law school. And so I really wanted to make sure that you guys are able to hear other people's stories and find out how they're doing it so you can get inspired and realize that those so-called barriers that you think are preventing you from going to law school are really all up in here, because it's really just a manifestation of fear of taking on that next step and fear of stepping out of your comfort zone. Y'all feel what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? If you agree with me, go ahead and raise your hand. Okay, but until Keana gets here, one of the things I do want to try to do is take some time to drop some particular gems on you guys. So I was about to make a post, and I figured, you know what, let me go ahead and share it with you guys. Maybe I'll post about it later. But what I want you guys to, when we're looking at situations in regards to law school selections, here, look at my notebook, I wrote it down. We have to be very mindful of the law school's ABA accreditation status. Somebody type in the chat box ABA status, okay? Because ABA status is something that oftentimes is not really talked about until you find yourself in a situation where you've applied to law school, got accepted into law school, finished up your first year, finished up your second year, and then all of a sudden you get this notice saying that your law school is at threat of being closed. Y'all don't want that status. Y'all don't want that smoke. And I don't want that smoke for you guys, okay? All right? And so what that means, what's going on, Miss Hollywood? And so let's see if you, Miss Hollywood, go ahead. Let's see here. Add as a moderator. Let's see here. I don't know how to do this. Let's see here. Hold on. All right. I'll wait for her to send me a video. Send me a video request. Okay. All right. So what you want to do is you want to check on the ABA status of your law school. All the law schools that you're going to. In 2020, there was 10 law schools that were placed on academic probation, that was placed on ABA probation, okay? And fortunately, those schools have been able to satisfy their requirements. The last two schools that were on there were Oregon Law School, which was due to they failed to meet the diversity requirement of their faculty. And also the other schools on there were Dayton and also another school that I can't remember right now. But what you guys have to be mindful of is what is the ABA status of the school that you're going to. You got that, Yaki? You got that, Yaki? You got that, Miss Hollywood? Okay. And so you want to be able to check out that information, okay? And we're going to talk about that a little bit more after, of course, we have the opportunity to speak to our guest who's going to be joining us right now. What's going on, Jermaine? All right, let's get Hello, hello, hello. How we doing, Queen?
Hello, hello. How you guys doing tonight? Can you hear me?
Is it me?
Hold up.
Maybe it's me. Let me cut off my Bluetooth real quick. Can you hear me? Okay, I can't hear you for some reason. Maybe it's your Bluetooth. Can y'all hear her?
Hold on.
Maybe it's just me. If y'all can hear her, raise your hand. Okay. These things, we got like love-hate relationships. You know what I mean? Let's see.
Hear me now?
And let me cut mine. There we go. All right, cool. Can you hear me? All right, fantastic. It was mine.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Bootleg one. Look at that. My kid broke the other one, so I was trying to still use it. You know, I ain't trying to throw it. But nevertheless,
right.
But nevertheless, what's going on? We have the luxury, the opportunity of having Miss Keana, doing the damn thing down in the booth. After I saw Keana's comments, we recently did a post, you guys, where we talked about resources for law students who have families, and she was dropping some knowledge. Weren't you, Keana? You were dropping some knowledge bombs in the comments, and I said, yo, we got to get her to drop some knowledge bombs on the IG Live. So I want to briefly give you the floor so you can share your story, because you can inspire some of these people out here who have the talent, have the ability, but a lot of times are placing barriers and saying, well, I got to wait. I got kids.
Yeah, that was me like 15 years ago. So first off, I want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my story on your platform. I really appreciate that. First things first, you got to get it in. I literally woke up 15 minutes before this live. So So that's like part of the plan. You got to get your sleep in when you can get your sleep in. But yeah, that was me. Like, I always knew I wanted to be an attorney many, many moons ago, and then life happens, like pretty much every day for every one of us. But I set myself on this goal about 2 years ago to actually finish my undergrad. I mean, I had no reason to get my bachelor's degree because I had very lucrative positions. My career in sales and management was taken, by storm. I had, I mean, my resume spoke for itself. My interview, like, I knew I was killing the interview. So I had no reason to have a bachelor's degree. So even though I went to school right after high school, college right after high school, I didn't finish. And I felt no need to get a bachelor's degree until that one day I was like, you know what, I really need to continue to pursue my goal and get into law school. So literally me getting a bachelor's degree was the only reason, going to law school was the only reason why I got my bachelor's degree, like the only reason. So yeah. So 2 years ago, 3 years ago now, I went back on that quest. At that time, I literally, like what this live is about. I have five kids. I have five daughters. Okay, like okay. So today, literally, my oldest is starting her freshman year in college in a couple of weeks, and she's going to be attending Southern University as well, undergrad. So that's kind of like, I'm happy about that she can go to the undergrad campus while I'm, at law school. But yeah, my daughters range from 18 all the way to the baby. She's 5 years old. But I'm a very determined individual, and when I put my mind onto something, that's what I do. And that's, the biggest advice that I can give you all. It's plenty of days people still talk to me, they're like, I don't know how you do it, or it's not gonna be able to happen. No, like, you can't take me off my path. So the crazy part about the situation is I was on this path. I started, literally, I tell everybody, don't like, my route is not the best route. Get with you for the advice for the LSAT and all that other good stuff. Don't take my route. Because I knew I was a one and done. I was not taking that LSAT again. I took it late in the session. I'm all part of these Facebook groups that try to make everything seem so pretty. It's not real. But it helped me a lot because I connected with some great individuals that, that helped me. I knew nothing about the LSAT. But to take it a step back a little bit, literally a couple of months before I decided to go on my path, I decided to transition from working in sales and management and applying at a law firm. So sometimes you have to make that sacrifice because, as I mentioned, my career I was doing really, really well. I had to realize, like, what's my ending goal. So I took a position. I applied for a receptionist position at a law firm just to get in and just kind of see how things are going. I'm talking about triple pay cut, okay? But when I went into the interview, no, I'm sorry, April, it is not too late. Oh, I'm 39 years old, guys. Yeah, turning 40 in a couple months. But yeah, so when I went into the interview for the receptionist position, the lady that interviewed me, she told the partners of that firm, it was like, this girl's way too qualified to be a receptionist. So they actually offered me a case management position. And why I chose that law firm, it was a small law firm in my area, but the partners were Black men. And I was just all for, like, I need to see this from the eyes of someone who goes through the day-to-day struggles as myself, as my parents, my siblings, and all that other good stuff. 39 where? Yes. You. Okay. Thank you. No, but so yeah, so I went, and then I actually persuaded my coworker who became a really good friend. I'm like, girl, let's get on this journey together. We going to law school. And she's a mom as well. Shout out to Tremaine. She's like my law school bestie. But we're both working as case managers in this personal injury firm. And we started buying books off of Amazon, joining these Facebook groups, and just like self-starting, taking the LSAT. So we literally like studied for the LSAT for like 4.5 months, y'all. 9 times out of 10 would not recommend. Okay. So like I said, it was a one and done for me. So we went and we took that LSAT, y'all. If you never took the LSAT yet, let me tell you, I was never taking that test again, okay? Like, it's pointless. It has nothing to do with law school. Nothing to do with law school. And of course, I was reading all these comments in these groups about your high GPA, your high LSAT, and all this other good stuff. At this time, I was doing my undergrad online. So I'm going through this process, y'all. I don't have an undergrad degree yet, okay? But I ended up, my GPA was like a 3.54. So I knew I had some leeway because I had a high GPA. But anyways, so I took the LSAT. The median, I knew I wanted to go to Southern University because going to an HBCU was just like my top choice. I needed that experience. I didn't, straight out of high school, I went to a PWI. And then I was going to school online. So I never, like, I was a mom. Like, I never had that college experience, especially from an HBCU. So I knew I wanted to go to an HBCU. In addition to that, LSU, great school. There's a couple of great schools in Louisiana, law schools in Louisiana, but Southern not only was an amazing law school, they offered a part-time program. So you mentioned, I heard you mentioning earlier about just looking at different options. And I'm a mom. I unfortunately, and I'm married. I do have an amazing husband. But I've been a go-getter all my life. Like, I just couldn't quit working and go to school full time. That's just not, it's like, my kids are expensive. Like, they got expensive taste. So I definitely couldn't do that. So having that option to have a part-time program was definitely, it was definitely what I needed. Now, my law school is an hour away from where I live and where I'm from. So that meant that commuting was just what I was going to have to do. So I took that. I'm sorry, guys. I took the LSAT. I actually made 2 points below Southern's median. But I was gonna shoot my shot. Like, I'm not letting nobody determine my fate but myself. Listen, if you see me in any group and somebody's just like second guessing what they're gonna do, you always see me. Keana gonna tell y'all, shoot your shot. I perfected my personal statement, like perfected it. I did my resume and I took my shot. And literally, it took 2 months for me to get a decision. I literally was scheduled to graduate in July of 2022. And on May the 4th of 2022, I received my acceptance letter. Again, I had no undergrad. That was unheard of. Like, schools are not entertaining you without an undergrad. But I felt like if it was meant to be, because I didn't want to wait a whole nother year for a whole nother cycle. I'm like, at this point, I'm 38 years old. I've waited long enough. Like, I needed to be in law school. So, yeah, that was my journey into getting into law school. Of course, I work at a law firm, so I had all the attorneys telling me their experience and what to expect, but there's literally no one who can tell you what to expect, preparing for law school. I tell you, I'm gonna give you the real, like, that's how I am in the comments. I know people be mad at me when it's their group and I'm giving people the real, but this is by far the hardest thing I've ever did in life, like, literally. Going into my 1 year, it's plenty of days, and still now I got 2 weeks before I start the fall semester. I went through the summer, because again, I'm part-time. I'm trying to finish as quick as I can because my matriculation is a little bit longer because I'm going part-time. But it's plenty of days that my 1 year, I cried. Like, it was so stressful. The LSAT, I will take the LSAT 20 more times before taking a law school final. So those of you who are preparing for that LSAT test, y'all better toughen up toughen it up, Cookie, because y'all have no idea. But it's an amazing journey. You know, how do I juggle it with my kids? Half the time I don't even know what's going on. You need a support system. You cannot go into this alone. I'm in a great situation to have an amazing partner that literally does everything. So my husband, he cooks, he cleans, he washes dishes, he, you know, does the laundry. There's some men, and that's perfectly okay for your relationship. There's some men that don't do that type of stuff, but he does, and I'm so blessed that he does, because my entire 1 year I didn't cook, and I love to cook. I'm a Louisiana homegrown girl, but just imagine I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and start getting the kids ready. Sometimes we getting up at 5 o'clock trying to study, trying to brief cases. Like I'm sick of briefing cases, y'all. Like I'm sick of it. That's all we do. That's all you do in law school is brief cases. It's like no assignments. You just brief cases all day long. And briefing, you know, waking up 5 o'clock in the morning, briefing cases, getting the kids ready. I work 8 to, you know, 4 o'clock, 3, however it is, because I have amazing partners I work for that, you know, they accommodate my schedule to be able to leave early to drive an hour every day. Oh, FYI, you go to law school every day. And ain't no Monday, Wednesday classes. You go to law school Monday through Thursday, sometimes Friday. It's every day. So we're driving 4 days a week. We have like this, I met these other 3 individuals, including my friend Tremaine that I work with. And it's 5 of us. Like, y'all, we be sardines in a car because we take turns driving. You know, you do what's best for you. But how do I do it with the kids? Like my support system. And sometimes I'm calling friends to pick my kids up from like extracurricular activities. I don't know nothing that's going on at school. I missed every volleyball game last year. I don't do homework with my kids. Like I don't do none of that stuff. Like I literally disconnect myself during the during the semester with the kids. But I do find time that, you know, my weekends, I try to keep my weekends as normal as possible. That's my time to spend with my family. That's my time. I spend a lot of time with my friends. Like I have to, you know, have a sense of normalcy with myself. It's something else I don't recommend. You know, everybody that's there in law school, they're like, you gotta disconnect yourself. Everything gotta be about law school. That ain't like that for me. Like I'm going to brunch. We drinking mimosas on Sundays, but they are my friends. I already know. Like they already know when it's time for me to disconnect. Don't bother Keana. Like she got to study. It's finals time. I'm venting. I'm stressed out. Like you study an entire semester for one final, and then you're curved. You're curved. Yeah, you're curved. So you may not make that curve. So you literally working the entire semester for one grade, and I mean it's like the survivor of the fittest. And like I said, you be yourself. That was sometimes that I kind of felt that imposter syndrome. You going to law school, y'all, they come with all these clubs. You can be a part of this, you can be a part of that. And that's all fine and dandy, but you have to get your groove. And I kind of felt, you know, like we get all these posts about, oh, this one now, congratulations to such and such. They were, you know, chosen for this and they were chosen for that. And sometimes I feel like maybe all I am focusing on is work in school with my family. But I have to remember I'm a non-traditional student. Like some of these students, they move to go to law school. They living off of financial aid, and I'm not knocking nobody, but I'm 39 years old, and I'm the fact that I am juggling a family, I'm juggling being a student, I'm a stellar employee, like I'm getting employee of the month at my firm, like I'm getting it done. So my biggest advice, you know, to anybody that's out there that's approaching their 1 year or that's, you know, going through the process to get into law school is just like, it's your plan, it's your path, it's your you know, what's your end goal? I tell everybody, actually, what's your goal? My goal, I need to remain a student, because academic probation and dismissal is live and real. These people don't care. These people do not care at law school. Like they treat you like the adult that you are and preparing you to be one of the best attorneys out there. These excuses, absences, like COVID ain't even gonna give you a waive absence. It don't work like that at law school. This is not undergrad. And my plan, my only goal is to become an attorney and to do it my way and remain a law student. I don't need to be on law review. I don't need to be top of the class. I don't need to be none of that stuff, because I have something that's possessed in me that nobody can teach me. And I learned that before I became a law student. I got connections. I have, I can get my interns. I can sell myself in an interview. I don't need none of that other stuff to back me up. My resume was built well before law school. Law school is just that added little, token to it. But the sprinkle, the razzle dazzle, like one of my mentor attorneys say. So yeah, I'm gonna stop talking about myself. But another piece of advice I have: calendar. You cannot do school and life without calendaring things in. Calendar time with your friends, calendar time with your family, your assignments, your cases. Like, it was hectic. Like, I got a better flu right now. I just finished up my summer semester, which I ended with a B plus and 2 A's. So I'm on a 2-week break right now, and I'm right back at it. Like, I need to be an attorney. Like, that's all. That's all my goal is that I have to do it, and just do it your way. So, again, thank y'all for this opportunity. If y'all questions, I'm here for questions.
So
I'm tired of
many
talking
gems on gems. I just didn't want to stop you because you were just dropping it. And what the theme of what I want you guys to understand of what Keana's talking about is intentionality, right? Literally at the drop, Keana talked about she made a decision that she wanted to be a lawyer. And so I got to get a bachelor's. I'm going to do it. Is it hard? Is it inconvenient? Yeah, but you know what? I got to do it. And so what I want you guys to understand is just like, if in fact you want to be a lawyer, wherever you are on your journey, accept the fact that it's going to be tough. Wherever you are, it ain't going to be some easy choice. And especially for my non-traditionals, a lot of you guys, of course, you guys having to take pay cuts to make the decision to go to law school. And understand that there are so many other avenues. And so when you're looking for programs, like Keana found a part-time program. Keana was out here looking for a law firm to gain experience. So sometimes you guys, I remember I talked to somebody earlier today, when we're looking for an opportunity to add to our resume, understand that maybe we're not going to these mega firms. Go to these small boutique firms. Maybe we go to the courthouse. Now, people may think I'm saying stalkerish stuff here. Maybe we go to the courthouse. That's where lawyers are. And go sit in the courtroom and see the lawyer that may fit your vibe, and then reach, hey, I'm saying, I'm trying to gain some legal experience, and I'd love an opportunity to volunteer at your firm. Something like that, where we have to be able to get experience. One of the things I want you to talk about, if you could, Keana, just for a little bit. And again, we're live with Keana, a 2L at the Southern University Law Center. And she's over here dropping gems of how she's making it happen. I want you to tell me about, like, for example, when you went through the process, what was that one moment like where you felt challenged, where you were like, man, I could just give up. I can go back to my other job. I don't need to do this. What made you keep fighting?
The only time I felt this in the initial process was when I walk out the room after taking the LSAT. Like, that is literally, I've taken the ASVAB test. I've taken like several state tests for state jobs in Louisiana. Like, the LSAT is absolutely one of the worst tests I've ever had. Well, at the time, that's what I thought. But it was all just it's a mental preparation for going through the law school process. But at that time, I still talk today. One of my girls, they're on live right now, Victoria. I texted her like literally while I was studying for my family law exam, and I was just like, this maybe this is not for me. Like, I'm tired of studying. I can't remember these laws because you need to know them verbatim. Applying the facts to the law, like, there's plenty of times I wanted to give up. But then I think about it's not even about my kids, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna make sure they're more successful than I ever was and give them those opportunities. But honestly, it's just the life that I want to live. I like luxury. I want to travel. I want to I want to travel with my kids. I love a big family. It's I never feel alone. But y'all know how much it costs to fly
About,
5 children to
about
Disney?
10,000.
Like,
And we're not even talking about staying overnight, right?
exactly. So just being able to, like, want to, and I'm, again, the firm I work for, Durant and Cawthorne, I'm gonna plug that in. Shout out to these young Black gentlemen, my mentors, African American women that are younger than me, that are attorneys. But when I see my partner, like one of my, the partner I work for, he texted me talking about, Keana, I need you to make sure you contact this adjuster, or you get this petition out, or blah blah blah, because I'm going to Italy.
Wow.
What? Like, where are you today, sir? Oh, I'm in Bali. Oh, okay. Like, that's what motivates me and keeps me pushing. And then in addition to that, like, my short term goal, once I pass the bar, is not to immediately hit my own shingle and start my own, but I want to do that one day as well, so that my 10-year-old, my 12-year-old, she wants to be a lawyer, and I know sis gonna be a good one. Like, she about to argue down all day long until you understand her point of view. So just imagine, in 10 years, when I have Davis and Associates firm, and I got my daughter working for me, that generational wealth. Like, so stuff like that is what keeps me pushing. Another thing is, like, I really, like, never had to study in high school, study in undergrad. So that's a big challenge for me as well. Paul, hey, Paul, look, that's another one of my mentors, Paul Daracell. He is on our live right now. He is a super attorney as well. He just, like, closed this multi-million-dollar deal for one of his NFL clients. So he's another guy that I work hand in hand with. So I'm glad to see you on, Paul. Thank you for supporting us and supporting Becoming JD by getting on this live. But anyways, yeah, so, like, it's just a day-to-day continual motivation. And I just don't, I pulled out my wisdom tooth yesterday. Like, literally got up this morning, and, because we took the kids on vacation, a little small vacation, not a Disney one. But I got up this morning, and I was like, I know how important I am to the team that I work for. So it's not all about me all the time. And so I got up this morning, and, I wasn't feeling the best, but I went into the firm and, and do what I do on a day-to-day basis, because I need to see these things. I know that all this stuff is going to help me in my future. So again, whatever path that you are on, stick to your plan. Stick to, whatever find you a mentor. Like, find you someone who can, and not just one of them, because sometimes some of these mentors be trying to, like, yeah, they be trying to little girl, little boy you. But find you someone who will see you for you. And it's gonna happen. Like, I still have I have a road ahead. But I know I'm not giving up. So, and I don't want you to give up either. You out there, like, that LSAT is tough. Follow the plan. Get on these lives like this. Get the motivation. Get the, the tutoring lives that, Becoming JD give. Like, y'all take all these little nuggets and y'all just hold them in your sack and, like, pull them out whenever you need it, because you gonna need them one day. Everybody need them.
The capitalize on what she's saying, man. I say this to you guys all the time. Your LSAT score does not determine your worth. Your work ethic, your character, that's what determines your worth. Not many people are going to have their colleagues come up and roll up at 11:37 at night to support them unless they see her work ethic, unless they see her character. And I'm more than serious, you guys. A lot of times we may think that people aren't watching. When you're doing right, people are watching. When you're working hard, people are watching. And that's the thing that inspires people. That's why Southern said, you know what? Your BA ain't here yet, but man, we got to get you. We have to accept you.
Right. And another thing, like this, like you said, the LSAT doesn't define you. Nobody asked me what my LSAT score once I got in law school. So y'all, listen, don't let nobody talk. Not one person asked about no LSAT score ever after you take the LSAT and you get accepted. So that's not like something that you need to be holding on in your bag. Oh, I made a 150 something. Yeah, it's good for you to get scholarships and all that. Definitely push for the highest LSAT score that you may have. But understand everybody's goal is not the same. Southern University does not offer 1L part-time scholarships. So me having a 160 LSAT, I didn't need that. I just needed to get in. Now, getting that GPA and, keeping up my grades and all that good stuff, now I can apply for scholarships. But me having a 160 LSAT, that wasn't,
And
I didn't need that. So know your school
and
too. You have to know
contrary to
stuff like
popular
that.
belief, like you can get into law school with so-called low LSAT scores. We have someone who graduated, who I helped get into law school, that just graduated from George Washington. I could tell you, she dreamed she would have had a 142. She dreamed she would have had a 139. But the thing about it is making sure, with the same hunger and passion that I'm seeing from Keana, that's what she gave to the law school at George Washington. And so what law schools are looking for is for assurances that if given an opportunity, that you're going to make it happen. Not many people. So understand, nothing was given to Keana. Keana said, I want to be a lawyer. She rolled up at a firm where she was overqualified for and started working there. So that means you guys out there, maybe you have to roll up to a firm and take a job where you're not getting paid, but you were thinking about the end goal. And let me just
Use it as an intern. Think about it as an intern. You're getting a paid intern. It may not be what you used to, or it may not be what you want, but it's that experience. Like, I literally can walk in any one of these attorneys' office. Like I was just mentioning, Attorney Paul. Like, he called me today on my personal side. Like, you have these personal connections, and I'm waiting up, to go hang out with him and just learn about just the sports side of law. Like, those connections are worth more than your paycheck sometimes, because that money gonna come. God is gonna make a way for you and your family. Like, if he know you're doing the right thing and you are on the path and you have a goal, he's gonna provide. Like that. We're not gonna get to church right now, but he's definitely gonna provide. And like my girls always said, it ain't about just getting into law school. You gotta stay in, because it's tough.
yeah, it's definitely
tough.
a business. Law schools is definitely a business, and you want to be able to have a support system in place for you. Now, one question I'd ask you is, like, what advice would you give to a mother, a single mother who wants to go to law school? What advice would you give her?
You still have a tribe. You have your mom, you have family, somebody. I know, as I was once a single mom. Like, I ain't always been married. My oldest daughter is 18 years old. I've only been married 5 years. Okay, do the math. But you have to find that tribe. Some, like, people that'll be there for you, and you can make it happen. I know sometimes as single moms, we want to just be that independent. I don't need nobody. You do. You really do. Because in order for you to make it happen, I watch it every day, every single day. My friend and coworker, she was a single mom of 3 going through this process with me. And her mom and her sister helped her tremendously. If she says it all the time, if it wouldn't be for them, then she couldn't go through that process as well. But my biggest advice is, like, literally, don't use that as a crutch.
Yeah.
Use it as motivation. It can happen. If you want it to happen, it can happen. Just think about the future and the life that you can provide for your kids once you get to that end goal. And if you keep that at the top of your priority list, like, nothing
And
is
again,
gonna
we
stop
online
you.
with Keana, super mom, super lawyer to be, killing it, you guys. Manifesting, making dreams and making them come true, you guys. And one of this, adding on to what she's saying, you guys, understand that guess what? Your family is a part of your journey. Oftentimes, I ask people say, how do we do it? Our family is our superpower also. I know for myself, when I first went through law school, I did not have any kids. I wasn't married, and I flunked out. But somehow, some way, you know, when I applied to law school again, you know, I talked about my family and how things had changed in my life and how working harder now for a purpose made things different. And I got back in. And so understand that one of the things I'll recommend, like, for example, because you already were familiar with Southern, if you have a family, do you recommend you going to go visit the schools before you commit, or how'd you go about it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, although I'm an hour away from Southern, I went through the entire process as a new law student. We went to, you know, the visits, and we toured the campus, and we spoke to staff, and you know, because at the end of the day, I just knew where the campus was. I knew nothing about it. I mean, I had alumni, but you got people that graduated law school 10 years ago. It's not the same. Like, it's not, and COVID changed a lot of things. Yeah, COVID changed a lot. So I definitely, you know, I would reach out to, you know, the law center's representatives and, you know, ask the questions, and they were very helpful. So don't hesitate, even to schools that, you know, you may be interested in, anyone. Just go tour, see if it's the school for you, because you're gonna get that feeling. Like, you may think you want to go somewhere, and then it's gonna be something that's gonna turn you off, or something that's gonna light that fire in you, and that's gonna tell you, hey, look, that's the campus that I need to be on. So I would definitely highly recommend to not only reach out, you know, to alumni, reach out to like 2Ls and 3Ls, and you know, just somebody who just recently experienced. Because like, one thing I said before, I am going to give it to whoever it is, raw and uncut, because that's how I needed it, and I didn't get it that way. I didn't get it raw and uncut, and then I found myself at 11 p.m. some nights crying, because I'm like, man, if I'd have known this, I would have I'd have never come to law school. But at this point, it's too late. I'm not giving up. But yeah, I'm bought in. I'm all in right now. But you know, it's the process and it's the experience, and I really truly
appreciate. And to my people out there are grants available, literally just for people who have families for law school. I know that I was fortunate. I was able to get grants to pay for childcare. And listen, man, do not be too prideful. Listen, you may not think it happened. People take their kids to school all the time. I don't know. Boy, I remember one time I had my daughter and my son sitting right beside me, had headphones in their ear, and gave them cell phones. There y'all go. Be quiet. I got class. And also, it brings so much value. Like, for example, your daughter wants to be a lawyer, and you guys doing what you're called to do, living for your lawyer dreams. That's making it seem more real for your kids. How?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, law school is definitely, it's an adult environment. I mean, it's literally almost every other day somebody's at school with their kids. Like, a professor's not going to tell you you got to leave because you got your kids with you. They understand the struggle. They understand, you know, the dynamics and the situations that you are in. So yeah, and like you mentioned, grants, and let me tell you, law school financial aid hit different. It hit different. You gonna get through it, and stop worrying about that debt. Yeah, you gonna be in debt regardless. Like, you gonna let it go. Everybody's not gonna get a full ride, so you gonna be in debt regardless. But law school financial aid hit different. I know plenty of individuals who moved from another state, not even working, that's just going to law school on their financial aid and surviving. It hits
absolutely.
It hits
and the thing that I would tell you guys also, those visits are incredibly important if you have families. because you need to get that vibe and see if it's a place not only that you're going to be comfortable at, but also where your family's going to be comfortable at. I know I have a lot of students that are at Southern, and they talk about the family community environment that's there at Southern. I love the admissions over there. I always get a chuckle after talking to them on the phone. But you want to find a place where you feel comfortable. I do not care about rankings. I don't care about tiers. If it is not a place where you feel comfortable, then you're not going to do well. You can tell people a little bit about how the vibe is at Southern.
It's the same HBCU. It's Louisiana. Like he said, he chuckled when he get off the phone. Anybody you gonna talk to from Southern, they gonna have the accent. Some of them gonna be sounding so unprofessional, but they smart. They smart as heck. They gonna guide you. It's literally like it's like you going to school with a whole bunch of your brothers and sisters. Like I'm talking about, I got a video. I'm gonna have to send you that video. It was Law Week last week, and we had a brunch, and I'm talking about we swag surfing. Like, yeah, I mean HBCU is gonna hit different, and just having that, just being in a room of hundreds of Black men and women, and we have other races as well. We have a lot of white people. We have a lot of just other races. It's not, and they love it. They're treated the same, but just like we already know, just the racial the situations that we have been placed with for many years, and to walk into school and just see the amount of Black professors and the students that inspire to be just some of the best attorneys. Like,
Yeah,
you get that
exactly.
warm and fuzzy feeling
You feel
inside. Because I know, yeah, it's different. It's really different. Like, yeah, that Southern hospitality is like your mom, your grandfather teaching you. Like they dropping those gems, and the diversity, like, and not only just like we professional, like we walking in these courtrooms with our suits on, and like, we're smart, we're educated, we're articulate as well. Like,
and y'all
don't
win.
let it fool you.
And that's the thing about it. That
And
wherever you go,
yeah.
I mean, I love Southern. Outside of Southern, my second favorite school in Louisiana is Loyola in New Orleans. Those schools, they
Mm-hmm.
have strong foundations where they really support their students. And I tell people, wherever you go, please do not go by rankings. Do not. Rankings don't mean nothing.
Don't.
You're,
Because listen, some of the one of the biggest advice, I'm sorry, that I like, Southern creates attorneys. Like, law school just giving you the law. They literally just teaching you the law. But Southern prepares you for the courtroom. They prepare you for your, like, how to present yourself. If you want to be that courtroom attorney, if you want that internship, that externship, they prepare you to present yourself. It's one thing to be book smart, but it's another thing to be able to speak in a room with hundreds of people, to be confident in what you're presenting and what you're displaying. And that alone is something that some of these schools can't teach you. Like, and everybody will say, they want Southern may not be at the top of the rankings, but let's talk about they gonna make the practical
absolutely.
lawyer
I'm
out
over
of
here. You got me over here scrolling through the chat box, trying to see the questions. Somebody asked you, Miss Sonia. There we go. Miss Sonia, $1 Million Girl. There you go. She said, "Do you feel overwhelmed at times juggling work, school, and keeping balance? What do you do to keep balance?"
I feel overwhelmed all the time. Self-care is very important. I absolutely have to have my me time. So I love getting massages. I love hanging out with my friends. Like, that gives me a sense of normalcy. So I make sure that in my calendar, I schedule me self-care. Like, that kind of calms me from being overwhelmed at the time. But I'm overwhelmed day. Every day. I work at a busy law firm, y'all. Like I'm talking about busy, but you got to do what you got to do. Like
that's
this
the
is the life
bottom
I
line.
want.
Is I remember I saw a quote. Somebody said, "In order to be successful, you have to learn how to be comfortable in chaos. You have to learn how to be comfortable under stressful conditions." And so, literally, that's what I feel like. The LSAT kind of gives you a preliminary taste of that. And then after that, it's once you get accepted, then of course, I'm sure you can attest to this. Then after that, it comes down to memo time. When you swear for everything, I'm a good writer. You sure about that? And so law school teaches you a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like law school really teaches you more about yourself in regards to the limits that you thought you had when you first start. They end up way over here later. And so Miss Sonia has another question for you. She said, has law school changed your perspective on life?
It has. I'm a very vocal person. So I really got tired of like debating this stuff on social media with people. Like I was kind of one of them like them Facebook investigators and stuff like that. So I have a background like in law before, going to law school. So I knew a lot about laws in the state of Louisiana. So yes, it does. It does. It has changed my perspective on life because I'm learning every day. I just got out of a family law class. And just some of the laws I learned about just marriage and divorces and child custody. Like they need to teach you that before you get married. So yeah, it does. It makes me look at things in a different perspective. Um, and while it made me also not look at life on an emotional aspect, I look at it on, just a whole, like the law. Like, I mean, we could feel sorry about certain situations, and we're definitely not bringing this into your life, but just like this whole Carly Russell situation. And, just people going back and forth with that. And I'm like, I understand the whole emotional connection with this whole thing, but when the law is different. You start looking at life in general, you know, as a whole. And my friend texted me today on something, and she was like, "Why this person got arrested?" And should I da, da, da. And I replied, I'm like, "Buki, this is accessory after the fact." Like I look at things different. I don't look at it on the emotional aspect of it. You gotta look at it. You gotta look at what's law. I mean, it may not be right, or we may not feel that it's right, but it's the law. So, Sonia, I would think that would be like the biggest thing on how it changed my perspective is just how I look at things. And secondly, that make me transition into this. When you gonna get in law school, everybody gonna think you're a lawyer. So yeah, you cannot give advice, but I literally get calls and text messages about law every single day. You gotta cut it off. You gotta learn how to, just disconnect yourself. I'm sure you do too. I'm sure the people call you all day asking you about law. But I do work for some amazing attorneys, and for the right price, you can get the advice that you need. I'm here to help people, but like at the end of the day, my bonuses is, that's part of my bonus, referrals. So yeah, so that's another thing too. Like the minute people seen I was in law school, now they think I don't think. One of my girls texted me today. She said the hood needs you. I'm like, I'm coming, but I ain't no lawyer yet. Y'all gotta stop that.
But Keana, thank you so much for taking some time to drop some gems. Thank you so much. Your energy, I hope you guys felt. Again, Sonia, man, continue to win. We're rooting for you. Everybody's rooting for you. I can't wait to see you win. Continue to stay in touch. I'm going to reach out to you. And again, thank you so much for taking some time to drop some gems for us today.
I really appreciate it. Thank y'all for inviting me. I'm an avid person that be on the Becoming JD page. I don't even know how I find y'all, but I found you guys before I started my law school journey. So it's a lot of things that you have posted that definitely, that helped me in a way. I told my friends that I had a little announcement to make today. It ain't nothing big, but I will be starting a podcast soon. So I'm gonna definitely, get with you guys as well. But it is going to be called
Ooh.
Lipstick in Law. So it's a podcast that is going to be with me and two of my mentors who are current African American young female attorneys, and we're just gonna, we're gonna drop gems of how to be, that young successful African American woman that, going. I'm gonna talk about the side
Mhm.
of getting into law school, and in addition to, getting some advice from, the attorneys that I'll be working with, but just being a woman, just talking about different things, just life in general. And it's not just for women, but at the end of the day, sometimes women are not looked, on the same pedestal as men. And there are some amazing, powerful
Yep.
young women of all colors in society that can bring everything to the table. So yeah, that's one of my projects that I have decided, to move forward with, because I feel that we do have a lot to offer. So it is Lipstick in Law. I literally just created the Instagram page, which is lipstick, the letter N, and law. But I'm gonna send that all out. Like I said, I'm taking it one step at a time. I'm trying to enjoy these last 2 weeks before I go to fall semester. But again, thank you guys. And I am Miss Hollywood 0303 MZ, Hollywood 0303. Feel free to reach out to me if anybody want any type of advice, whatever it may be. Review your personal statement, like whatever it is. I'm here, and I really do want to wish everybody's, give you guys best wishes on your journey. Remember, it is your journey and nobody else's,
Thank,
and
thank
stick
you
to the
so much,
plan.
Sonya. I
Shoot your shot.
appreciate it, sis.
Have a good one.
Wow. That is amazing. Oh, I don't even know how to exit the video. How do I exit?
I know I messed that up.
So you guys heard that, right? Lipstick and Law. We will definitely, when she drops her podcast, we will definitely show her some love. I hope that this session this evening was full and you got a lot of information, okay? She dropped a lot of bombs, you guys. She talked about, really what she talked about, you guys, is the level of intentionality that you need to be successful. She wanted to go to law school. She did not have a bachelor's degree, but she did not allow that to stop her from becoming a lawyer. She went and then got and finished her bachelor's degree and applied to law school before she finished her bachelor's degree. But it was something that she wanted, and she looked at her resume and realized that she needed to have more experience. So what did she do? She went and got more experience, rolled up at a law firm, shot her shot, and now that same law firm that gave her an opportunity is the same law firm that she's now working for, and now as Rising 2L at Southern University Law Center. So I hope that tonight's live gave you an opportunity to see that if in fact you want something, that you can have it, y'all. You can have it. And I hope that, of course, you can follow Keana. Anytime, whatever trouble or challenges that you're going through, I want you to realize that that story, that experience is also what you're going to utilize to help you get into law school. Everything that Keana went through ended up paying off because she chose to not allow that hard work to deter her. Understand, she's driving an hour every day to go to law school. I remember I drove 2 hours every day to go to law school. So if in fact you want it, you guys, it's something that you can truly manifest. And so I hope, thank you so much, Keana, for joining us. And hey, thank you guys so much for joining us. Tomorrow, we're going to have somebody on our live, and she's going to talk about how she shot her shot and got a full scholarship just by calling the dean of the law school. Say, yo, I need some brother. I need more money. And guess what? The dean said okay and gave her $300,000. What? $300,000. Her name is Jadpreet, and she's going to be on tomorrow at 11. So you guys want to make sure you stay tuned to that one as well. And of course, if you need help on your journey, feel free to book a link. Click the link in my bio for a pre-law strategy session. But again, I want to see you guys win. And I bring these stories so you can find stories that you can relate to so you can win too. So continue to fight for your lawyer dreams, and peace and blessings.